me tell you about a friend. It's Craig LeBlanc where the good times never end. Talking Parks and Rec, it's a show you gotta know. Welcome one and all to the Daily Parks and Rec Show. It's the Daily Parks and Rec Show.
I never saw myself working for a government agency, but I found out really quick, especially landing in Parks and Recreation, that I found my passion because I like serving people, like connecting with people, and I like talking to people, and like that's what Parks and Rec does. We're there to build that community and be there to help the community. And once I got to Parks and Rec, I was like, oh, this is where I want to be. I like this.
Welcome back to the Daily Parks and Rec Show, live from the 2025 NRPA Conference. In today's episode, our host, Dave Ramirez from OutdoorLink, sits down with Mikah Collins, Community Relations Coordinator for Hillsborough County Parks and Recreation, one of Florida's most dynamic departments. From running skate parks to managing sponsorship programs and now leading communications, Mikah's journey is a perfect example of how Parks and Rec professionals grow through passion and purpose. In this episode, they dive into the challenges and creativity behind marketing within a government agency, the importance of communication in community engagement, and why parks are more than just playgrounds. They're essential spaces for connection, safety, and well-being. Whether you're a park leader, young professional, or just someone who believes in the power of community spaces, this one's for you. Let's dive in.
All right, good morning again. I'm back. It's Dave Ramirez with OutdoorLink and a proud partner with the Daily Parks and Rec Show. This morning, I am joined by with Mikah Collins from Hillsborough County Parks and Rec, a former coworker of mine. And I'm going to go ahead and hand off to you, man. Tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do for Hillsborough County.
Yeah, absolutely. So I started with Hillsborough County Parks and Recreation in July of 2016. At that point, I was a program specialist operating a skate park, one of the 4 that we have that are staffed, and quickly moved into an assistant supervisor role. From there, I moved out of the skate parks and was a supervisor over the Mango region, which included 3 staff parks and probably 20 to 25 pocket parks that were unstaffed. After a couple of years in that position, I moved into a new position, which was our community sponsorship program coordinator position. So we offered community sponsorship program in our sports complexes, dog parks, and other amenities. And after a couple of years of getting that programming up and running, I moved into the community relations coordinator role, which is what I'm currently in. And in that role, it's pretty much all the marketing of the department. So things like flyers, online social media posts, make sure the public knows about the programs, events, and services that we have to offer.
Very good. Well, Mike, I remember you coming on and we worked together. I was at the time a region Parks and Rec manager over in the Gibsonton, Florida area. And skate parks were sort of under my umbrellas at the time there too. And yeah, you know, it's amazing how time moves and how careers change.
Right.
Like I said, did the recreation and got involved with, you know, as an athletic director for Hillsborough, and we were working together then because we were working on sponsorships and that kind of stuff at our athletic field. So it's great to see how you've come up in the department, in the field, man. Very proud of you.
Thank you.
You know, it's been a great run. You know, Parks and Recreation, you know, like I said, you know, if it's you know, if you're an outdoors, like to fish and hike, or sports, or you know, any type of different activities, skating,
Yes.
you know, skate, yeah, it's so vital to a community. You know what I'm saying? The active lifestyle. So
Absolutely. You know, what I always tell people is, you know, parks are a third space. It's not home. It's not work. It's that third space where you make connections to the community. You meet new friends. You participate in your hobbies or activities. Parks has it all.
that's right. You're right. And I'm telling you, it's what, you know, I just because I live in Hillsborough County and worked there for so many long, it's such a great department. There's so much to do in Hillsborough, and it continues to grow, just like the state of Florida. So, you know, Florida people still coming to Florida, and you know, state of Florida has to offer these amenities and these activities and these places to go. And Parks and Rec has stepped up, that's for sure, all around the state. And Hillsborough County's done a great job. You've done great. I know in the communications part of it, that there's challenges there, just like any other Parks and Rec position. Tell me a little bit about, like, in the communication side, what are, what's going on? What's the trends? What's maybe the landmines that you have to avoid or have to
Yeah,
be careful about?
for our agency, I always, talk to other municipalities, and I'm always so jealous when they have their own social media. All of ours, everything falls under the Hillsborough County social media. We have a really talented social media coordinator. But we just hear from folks all the time that they're like, oh, I didn't know you guys offered this. I didn't know you offered this. And when everything is under that one county umbrella of social media, you just can't post enough stuff about the 26 different departments we have in Hillsborough County. So a challenge that I see is, keeping the community informed of all the programs and events that we have when everything has to get filtered through, a really small pigeonhole. So,
oh yeah. And again, to have that social media part of a department it's crucial nowadays.
Absolutely.
That is how people are finding out about what we're doing.
Absolutely. 100%. Word of mouth only goes so far. So.
Yeah. And like I said, this podcast, the Daily Parks and Rec Show, it's this great tool.
Mm-hmm.
And, that our folks are using to just promote the field and to promote people to get into the field, our young professionals,
right?
Because those degrees aren't coming out of universities anymore,
right?
And it's like, people are off, doing more of different things. When like for me, to show my age and I was a park kid. I grew up on the parks. My coaches were the people I looked up to.
Mm-hmm.
So going to school, graduating, having opportunities elsewhere, I just didn't really like what I was doing.
Right.
And I wanted to do something I enjoyed in Parks and Rec, I always enjoyed. So, just like you have moved up into many different roles, I did the same.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm telling you, you had mentioned about, communication and talking with people. That is crucial because you can go ahead and read a book, sit and watch a video or, and some classes, but sometimes the best knowledge gained is just having a one-on-one conversation or a group chat,
right,
with somebody at a conference like NRPA or FRPA.
Right. Absolutely. And, going back to what you said, I had always worked in the private sector. Hillsborough County was my first public job. I never saw myself working for a government agency, but I found out really quick, especially landing in Parks and Recreation, that I'd found my passion because I like serving people, like connecting with people, and I like talking to people. And like, that's what Parks and Rec does.
Yes.
We're there to build that community and be there to help the community. And once I got to Parks and Rec, I was like, oh, this is where I want to be. I like this.
That's great. That's great. Well, like I said, I know you're working with many friends of mine from when I retired from the Hillsborough County, and the job continues. You guys are doing a great job keeping it together.
Thank you.
It's a challenge. It's like I said, when you youth sports, got to have youth sports.
Right.
Lots of challenges in youth sports. But you know what? It takes people like yourself and the team around you to just keep things square, straight, and moving forward.
Right. Absolutely.
And but again, there's always those challenges that come to the head there. So
right. They keep us busy, to say the least.
oh yeah, there's Parks and Rec is it's not a 40-hour a week job.
No, not at all.
Not at all. So listen, I'm going to go ahead and jump in. I'm going to play a video here as a break in between, and I want you to watch it. Tell me what you think afterwards.
Sounds good.
All right. Well, maybe not. Okay, we're going to move on. I guess we're having a little technical difficulty on the video. So the video that is going to be played is something talking about how Parks and Recreation is essential. And in my career, I always use that.
Mhm.
And I spoke, and everybody's like, oh, you get out there and play with kids.
Mhm.
And no, it's so much more than that.
Right.
And I always like to throw the references of, here in Florida, we're always challenged with a storm or a hurricane coming through. And who's one of the first folks out after a storm is Parks and Recreation.
Right.
We have to go ahead and get our facilities up and running.
Right.
Because those folks are going to need us as an outlet to go ahead and do something
Right.
afterwards.
Right. After you've
So,
been stuck in your house for a few days, waiting for the hurricane to pass, what do you want to do? You want to get outside. Where are you going to go? A
Yep.
park. Yeah.
That's right. That's right. So I think we're queued up for that video now. So let's check it out.
When we talk about essential services, what comes to mind? Police, firefighters, healthcare. But there's another essential service, often overlooked, yet always present. Parks and recreation. Parks and Rec is health. It's the walking trail that lowers blood pressure, the recreation center where seniors fight isolation, the swim lessons that prevent tragedy before it happens. This isn't a luxury, it's a lifeline. Parks and Rec is safety, a playground instead of a street corner, a basketball court instead of trouble, a summer camp where every child belongs. It's not just about activity, it's about protection, prevention, and possibility. Parks and Rec is community, the festival that brings neighbors together, the cultural event that teaches respect and diversity, the open space where a city breathes. It builds bridges where division once stood. It gives people a reason to gather, to connect, to care. And Parks and Rec is economics. It strengthens property values. It drives tourism through events and trails. It saves on healthcare costs. Every dollar invested multiplies, feeding back into schools, into safety, into growth. Essential service is not just about survival, it's about thriving. And Parks and Recreation is where thriving begins. In wellness, in equity, in culture, and in joy. Parks and Rec isn't extra, it's essential. For our health, for our safety, for our communities, for our future. A message from the Parks and Recreation community.
Pretty powerful stuff.
Absolutely.
You know,
100%.
It brings it all together and it really puts a picture out there of what Parks and Rec provides and does.
Absolutely. And, I don't think most people outside of our field of Parks and Rec really think about all those different points that parks do provide,
Yep, I know it. And like I said, Daily Parks and Rec Show did a great job on that video. And it just, I get chills just watching it.
Absolutely.
Because, and even though I'm not directly in the field anymore, once Parks and Recreation, always Parks and Recreation.
Right.
I love
Right.
it. I love it, and will plan to support it and do as much as I can with it until I can't. It's just one of those deals. You get born in. Like I said, for myself, I was a park kid.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I grew into it. Was a summer youth worker, and came as a teenager, and they throw a few bucks at you for whatever, and then I just moved into the field. And like I said, I've always loved talking to young professionals and just encouraging them to give us a chance.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It may not be the most biggest paying job, but I think it's more fulfilling.
Right. Something that sticks out to me is, I thought you always did a great job of mentoring folks and kind of, as the new guys come in, kind of explaining the way things operate, best practices. Hey, this is what to look out for. This is how to do this. This is, I thought you always did a great job with anybody new that came in, making them feel welcome.
Well, that's the thing, you don't sugarcoat anything. You just got to be real and put it out there, because you want to succeed, you need to know.
Right.
You got to know 100% what's going on. So I'm proud, to see a lot of folks like yourself move up into the Parks and Rec field and to be where you're at right now. It's a good feeling. And like I said, proud of a lot of folks around the country. Yourself, Mikah, man, you guys are doing a great job over there. I am going to go real quick here. We got a few minutes left, but when it comes, and really, I should have put a few more minutes on this, but getting sponsorships, that's challenging times.
Right now, it definitely is challenging times. When the program first got up and running, there was so much interest, because nothing out was like that for our parks. And, the changes that have happened in the economy in the past, year or so, it has become more difficult. But I think that people see the value in it. We have a lot of sponsors that return every single year or every 2 years when their agreement's up, and they're like, no, we want to continue to support the parks, and we feel that our sponsorship is valuable. So,
and that's huge. That's what that's what makes me happy, because those folks, even during difficult times, they believe in Parks and Recreation. They want to continue.
right.
And I'm sure that's what you're doing, using those groups and organizations and businesses as tools to
Right.
tell others, even at these times, listen, we're worth it.
Right.
Give it a chance.
Yeah. It shows that these other local businesses, support Parks and Rec. And then when they see that funding put back into the parks through new amenities or, different things at the parks, it only further strengthens that relationship,
Well, like I said, you guys are doing a great job. I know when we started that program, we were talking about banners on fences and all that kind of stuff. And, you don't think of the impact of a few $100 makes to a park, but it does.
It really does. Yeah,
It really does.
absolutely.
So, because always, when it comes to, budgets and stuff, they're always tight.
Right.
So
Exactly.
every little bit helps.
That's right.
Well, I think we're going to wrap it up here, Mikah.
Okay.
I appreciate you coming on board with us. It's been a pleasure, man. Like I said, love you guys in Hillsborough County, man, and look forward to working with you guys. And thank you. Appreciate
Awesome.
your time.
Thanks, Dave.
You got it.
At DPRS Media Co, we believe Parks and Recreation isn't just a service, it's the heartbeat of our communities. We exist to honor the people, the vendors, and the leaders shaping the future of Parks and Rec. Our mission is simple: to tell their stories, highlight their careers, and celebrate their essential work. Our vision is bold: to be the trusted hub where leaders, vendors, and communities unite, inspiring innovation, sharing wisdom, and building a stronger, healthier nation. Through over 220 live shows and 6 weekly series, the Leadership Series, Facility Maintenance, Young Professionals Network, Youth Sports Mastery, The Rec Room, and Growing Leaders, plus our industry-leading newsletter, the weekly Parks and Rec Post, we're building a media platform made for the Parks and Rec community. And now, we're inviting strategic partners to co-create this story with us. As a partner, you'll gain 12 hours of annual live exposure with custom shows highlighting your expertise, polished 60-second promos refined for maximum impact, year-round visibility with dozens of replays across our media network, premium features in our newsletter, and amplified social media reach across LinkedIn, X, and Facebook. This is your chance to educate, inspire, and lead, while connecting directly with the professionals who build, budget, and buy for their communities. This is DPRS Media Co. Let's build the future of Parks and Rec together.